So uncivilized.
Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents Uncivilized Scoundrels. I'm fresh off the Millennium Falcon. I'm actually on Dagobah at the moment, but you know what it is. You can tell me where I'm at, or who knows, I'm somewhere. But I know we're back from London, Star Wars Celebration, a couple by the last week, a couple weeks ago. It was such an amazing time there. Had such a great time. Great announcements. Had time to spend with like just everybody. And then as cold as it was, actually got a chance to see R'm's hair billow. It billow. Like they supplied the right amount of weather for her hair to billow in the wind. But we'll talk about that briefly in just a few moments. I'm just going to bring everybody in, man, and introduce this incredible panel of individuals that we are all here to fellowship everything that we know about Star Wars and talk about the final episode, the season finale of Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 8. It was called, what was it? The Return. So definitely we're going to talk about that. But yeah, let me just bring everybody in here. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Good to see everybody again. Dude, welcome home,
man.
These
friendly faces.
Hi.
Yeah. Welcome home, y'all.
Yeah, definitely welcome home, man. So glad to have everybody here. I'm for this special occasion, I am wearing my Star Wars Celebration Bo-Katan t-shirt. Definitely it was incredible, man. I love this shirt. I just I couldn't wait to wear it for this particular episode. So definitely it's going to be on. Riley's out there said pucker them booty cheeks. You already know, bro. We ready to go. Mario, we just came off of Jay's show over there at the Best of the Best, man. But anyway, man, what's going on tonight, man? How you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here tonight. Happy to see all of y'all, here at home, man. I mean, I know Autumn was a little bit under the weather, but I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I'm just glad y'all made it home safely. And dude, I am ready for Japan. I cannot wait. Y'all go look at my YouTube history. I am like all up in culture, learning languages, and thinking, trying to figure out, where to go. I'm talking about staying there for 2 weeks, y'all. Forget just celebration. I mean, Vienna and I were just talking about this right now, man. There's more to see than just celebration out there.
It is, bro.
I really want to soak in that experience of going out there. So I can't wait.
But I mean, again, this would be my second time in Japan. The last time I went was in 2012, right before I moved back to the United States from Australia, and it was amazing even then. So just imagine how it's going to definitely be going forward, man. Like it's going to be an incredible experience. So definitely, if y'all don't know what we are talking about Star Wars Celebration that will be in Japan next year. No, 2025.
Yeah, we got a couple years to save up. Man,
we got a couple years to basically save up. If you want to go, if you want to get there, definitely you can start planning for it now because it is definitely going to be an event. But I'm definitely excited about it. It's something that I've been just again, I thought they were going to do it in the US, to be quite honest. I had no idea that they were going to actually do it in Japan, but hell, I'm not mad at them. It's always an excuse. As soon as they basically said it, Toy was like, yeah, we there. Any type of excuse to get out the country and go somewhere different. She's all in for. This is the logo for it. This is the Japan 2025 Star Wars Celebration, April 18th to the 20th. Mario's talking about he's going to basically be there for 2 weeks. Also,
that's if I decide to come home. Y'all never know. I just might end up staying out there, man. Who knows? We'll see what happens, man.
So Mario, are you already?
Dude, I'm already mindset, man. I'm already I'm ready to pack my bags right now.
Because bro, they have like literally where it's gonna be like is in Mesa, I believe. But
Mm-hmm.
um they bro, when they go all out, especially cosplay, they go all out. They've
Oh yeah.
dedicated like, so that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna see so much there, but just the culture itself
Yeah.
over in Japan, just like the different, like when last time I was there, I was in Osaka, and I loved it. I love I love Osaka, Japan, bro. But definitely there's so many different places, so many people going. Vinny, even Arlo's talking about going because he was stationed over there when he was in the Navy.
That's
um
right.
yeah, so he's already ready for it. He's already ready to go. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I know a lot of people are. The humidity might be a bit different, so I know Arun's hair is not going to be billowing as much, but we'll make it
But
happen.
you know what though?
Uh,
On top of everything that we're all excited to see, bro, Disneyland Tokyo. Come on, man.
yeah,
That's
but
bucket list right there, bro. I am all in for that.
I've
Definitely got to
okay.
sneak in a
So
Disney
is
trip.
it? So okay. So Paris, the Paris, because I know that
Calvin just
when
went.
Calvin went, he said it was smaller,
Right, right. Yeah.
but I heard that Japan is bigger.
It might be. It might
Like
be.
it.
I haven't really looked into it, too much yet, but
Mhm.
I mean, just to be able to go to Disneyland Park, in another country, man, that's just like, yeah, I can't, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah,
definitely,
especially
man.
especially out there in Japan, dude. So,
Hell yeah, that is Japan. When you saying it's in Japan, bro, like I mean, that's 2 years to save, 2 years to put aside, 2 years to actually get your tickets, get everything amped up and ready. I wish Spice was going, but he said he's not going to go this one. He said because it was a bit hard on the wife to go this time to
mm,
London. So definitely he said he might not be going to the next one, but who
can't
knows
can't
what can happen
can't
in
bring the
2 years.
wife. I mean, come on, man.
Well, it's the wife and the kids,
The
you know what I
kids,
mean?
yeah,
So that's where it just kind of like gets a bit rough,
I
but
get that. I totally
you
get that.
know,
Yeah,
things happen, but we'll make it happen, man. We can, 2 years. It's everything in 2 years, bro. Straight up. I mean, it can happen. And yes, Vinny, you can set up a brothel over there. Don't worry about it, bro. There's plenty of space over there for you to set up a secondary room. So you can do that. You know what I mean? I know you already got it planned out in your head. You're like, you know what I
Vinny, let me know
mean?
if you're
There's
hiring,
a
bro. Yeah, you need muscle, dude. You give me a call, all right?
there's a vision board over there. We're good.
Definitely, I can't wait. And the thing is, I mean, it's crazy because we were talking about like just the call now. How much? I think the Jedi passes were what? They were 1,000, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think 1,200 after you add in fees and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 1,200. And that's the thing is like me and Toya were talking about trying to get those passes. We wanted to get those because
So
the thing is for the panels, bro, just to kind of get like first
that's
dibs
what I
to see
wanted
on
to ask
certain.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
like what?
well, here's the thing is because you know how it was for us, Del Mario. Like, if you wanted to see the stars, you didn't have to necessarily go to the panels because they end up out on the Star Wars stage for the Star Wars
Mm-hmm.
show,
Mm-hmm.
for the live stage. So they would actually end up there. But it's like if you wanted to see like some exclusive footage, trailers, like extended trailers, and to hear some announcements and stuff like that, then the panels were good. And I think that with Spice, I think he had one of the VIP ones, so he had like front row seats or different sections and stuff like that. So I don't know, like it's something that I would really, really, really want to do. So I don't know. We
So the
2 years
Jedi
to
Pass
plan it out.
guarantees you passes to those panels, then.
Yeah, it guarantees
Okay.
you
All
entry into
right.
those panels, and I think didn't it give you entry into the store as well? I don't.
Yeah, I think so, and also if you have an autograph or a photo op, you wait on a VIP line, you don't wait on the
Yeah,
general line.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're in VIP and you're ready to go because that's how it was. The last day we were there, we went to the Bad Batch section, and it was crazy though because remember we had gone to. Okay, so I
What's
can
going on?
honestly say that me myself, Toya, and Sean, we went to like this Star Wars party that they had. Now, in my mind, I envisioned it differently. In my mind, I was like, okay, we're going to probably be able to mingle amongst like a crowd of individuals. There'll be different, they had stars there, but they were signing autographs in different sections. They had some of the OGs there too, bro. Like, who was it? Admiral Piet was there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was there. They had, it was just so many of them that were actually there. But they were outside of the concert hall. The concert hall where they had different bands that were there performing, and then they had some of the Star Wars characters on stage. But it's not how we've seen it. Now, here's the thing. You can enjoy it had you not been walking around all day at the celebration panel. So you're tired by the time you sit down. So the moment you sit down, your body's at rest. So you're like, yeah, I know this concert's going on, but let me just shut my eyes for a couple seconds. So I tried to stand up, move around as much as I could, but I just kind of saw it a totally different way. Next time I know I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do something like that. But it was enjoyable, but I just saw it a tad bit different. But, because of that, the very next day we had the Bad Batch panel. So when I went to the Bad Batch panel, me and Toya we're sitting down and at 9. Now we weren't in the main hall, the main stage. We were in one of the viewing halls where you got a chance to get in there and see the live stage, which is so dumb. But anyway, we were back there and we sat down, and I'm sitting up there falling asleep. But I'm like, you know what? Toya got me, and she's gonna hold me down. I turn around and look at her, bro. She was studiously just sitting up like this, sleep. She was like this, proper. And I'm like, what? So while we were doing that, Sean had hit us up. He was like, hey, I'm about to go in and get a picture with Hayden if somebody wants to go half on me. And I was like, I don't know. That's a good opportunity. And, she was like, well, let's go. We might as well just go. So we just got out. It was also an excuse to move out because it was kind of boring sitting there. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And we just got in the VIP line and got back there and met Hayden, who was super cool, bro. Like he was super cool.
Really, that's cool to hear, man. Yeah, he was pretty down to earth, man.
Cool he is to meet.
Yeah, he was super cool. Him, Rosario Dawson, Esposito, they were cool. They were definitely cool. So we had a good time, man. But yeah, definitely Japan. Everybody out there, if you want to go to Japan, you got 2 years of basically playing it out. Now I hope and pray that those tickets at least don't get released into 2024 later. Because if they do what they did to us last year, Rita, like they released those tickets quick.
It wasn't enough time to prepare because we got a message on Tuesday that the tickets were going to be released on Friday, and it's like, excuse me?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, like really? They literally only gave you a few days to get the tickets, and then that whole fiasco was crazy because I got the 2 passes, but then when I got to the very end, because I guess you had to put it in a certain way, I forget. And when I tried to go back and change it, it kicked me out, and I was so frustrated. So anyway,
is it like New York where
yes,
you had to have already
in the queue
before to be
in the queue? Yep, you got to get in the queue.
So if you haven't gone to a celebration before, it's really hard to get tickets for a celebration.
Well, if you hadn't gone to Celebration before, all you have to do is you want to sign up. I think you got to go to the Celebration site, register and sign up. So then you'll get the notification when it's time. They'll send you the link and let you know, okay, this is the link that you're going to use. Just like New York Comic Con. Same way. They'll send you the link. You get in the queue to buy the actual tickets. While you're there, you can buy merch if you want. You can buy a lanyard if you want. Yeah. You just got to kind of get in and know how. And which is like, it's crazy because I'm like, I don't know how everybody gets in, especially when because I think they released the tickets at what, like 11 o'clock or was it 10 o'clock or something like that?
Yeah.
Around that time. And I'm like, how is everybody getting in? Because I'm like, I'm waiting. As soon as it hit, like I was trying to get in the queue like 11:50, like 10:57. I was in that queue but you couldn't. So by the time it got going, it was like you were still behind. And I was like, what? How is this happening? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully next time it's just a bit better. But 2025, hopefully everybody will be able to get over there. If you want to go, you got plenty of time to basically plan out and get this thing going. So yeah, I can't wait. Definitely can't wait to meet everybody and talk. So but yeah, man, let me actually address the chat. Oh, well, how's everybody else doing? Everybody else good tonight?
Yeah.
Good, man.
Yeah, that's good, man. So glad to have you guys here. Just to chat real quick, we got some guy here. We got Charlie the Unicorn. We got 4K Medias in the building. We got 12-inch Moose Stream. Beskar Kid is out there. We got Blitz 0065. Uncle Keith Tobar is out there because he's definitely going.
Oh yeah, he talks about it every day. I'm getting memes. I'm getting Japan info from him every day, man.
But you know, Keith was in the Navy too, bro. So
yeah, I know. He's already preparing us. Him and our man 16 Salvo.
Yeah,
I'm already like, dude, let's just go next year.
Yeah,
let's just forget 2025. Let's just go next year, man. Let's get a head start. Let's pregame.
How wait a minute? How come I ain't in on this? Keith, y'all leaving me out, man. Come on, bro. Get me in on that. I want in on some of that, man. So we got some guy out there, 12-inch Moose Dream. We got Ren's Talent Tino, who I actually got the autograph picture for Giancarlo Esposito for.
Speaking of Ren's, can we share something that
yes we can, because yes we can. Please do because you know what, I hit him up like when he put the photo. I was like, yo, I want that. He's like, exclusively for Mario. I was like,
I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about that. What you talking about? Well, that's one thing I can't wait for too. But
some bit
a certain Mandalorian piece that he's working on as well. I was wondering if we could actually share that or not.
I didn't know if I'm not sure if he's done. He sent me a work in progress of it.
Oh, did he say?
Oh my gosh, but
fucking man.
Yo, I didn't know he was going to send it to you already, bro. But I thought that he was actually because he
wasn't done when this was like a week or two ago. He wasn't done, but he just gave me like a sneak preview, and I was like, "You really doing it, yo?"
Oh, I saw something that looked like a finished piece to me, dude, and I was like, "Dude, I can't wait! I can't wait to see that."
Renz, can we share it? Renz,
if you're out there, let us know, Renz, if we can share it.
Renz, can we share it? I just want to share it real quick, Renz, because it looks good, bro. Can we share it, Renz? Yeah, he said I can't help it. You know, we're gonna share it. I'm gonna share it, bro, because I think what I'm seeing was like the finished product.
Oh, you have it? I have it right here if you want me to share it.
Yeah, so here we go. We got Mandalorian, right?
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yo, Jaren, bro. Done Jaren right here. We got the
I love it.
Jaren in the building. Renz is the fucking
bro. And he got you with a beanie on and everything, bro. Like, wow.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
This is the
amazing, bro, that he did that. Like, yes, Ren's Talentina. Man, bro, he is the man. Bravo. Man. He said done Jaren and the man done Lori and then Vinny. Somebody said then Vinny, Mando Vinny.
There's so many applications. It's just brilliant.
Yo, like straight up, we said it, we spoke it into existence. Renz made it.
The way.
Yeah, this is the way, bro. Straight up. Fan of your work. This is the way.
Fan of your work.
Definitely, bro. That was nuts.
But the piece he's doing for me too is pretty badass too, bro.
I've been seeing it. It's like
a nice piece, man. Freaking can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's like one of the coolest things I've seen him do. And that's saying a lot. And that's saying a lot. He's the man.
Bro, yeah, I was hyped when he put it up. I was like, yeah, man, when you get done, I need that. He was like, yeah, that's exclusively for Mario. I was like, that's some bitch.
Bro, we're actually working on a trilogy. Mm-hmm. So we got 2 more in the works, man. He's gonna kill it. I can't wait for those other 2, man. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Renz is like killing it, man. He sends me updates every night and I can't go to sleep after seeing them, dude. So yeah, Renz is an amazing artist.
It's an Astro Mouse. Yeah, definitely. I'll get. he said, now we need a commissioned Astro Mouse. I might get Renz to do that. A commissioned Astro Mouse, definitely. But yeah, man, shout out to him and his work. Is it crazy? Blitz is out there. Who we got? Brandon Ottman in the building. Ash Chase. Who else we got? 4K Media guys out there. S Beam. Bendu Wendu is in the building. Thank you for being here. Eric Hankey is in the building. Who else do we actually have out here? Everybody's talking. I'm trying to talk up that N1 Starfighter.
Oh,
So
dude, yeah. Another week. My beard is safe. We are done. That's wrap.
it is
Ain't
Thursday
happening,
night
no.
though. It's Thursday
Huh?
night though.
That'll
It is
mean none.
Thursday night.
That'll mean none. Yo,
You
season's
know,
over. Season's done.
season's
Season
done,
is
but they
done.
normally
The
that's when
season
they
is
start.
done.
They can still do it though.
They can still do it.
Um,
But my beard ain't going anywhere.
Everybody's plotting for that though. Everybody. Let's see here. Who else we got? Calvin, low key in the building,
Oh, yeah.
fresh off of his vacation. He came back home, went straight to work. Let me see who else we got.
Had a new addition to his family as well, man. My
With
man
the
came
puppies,
home with
yeah.
a
He
couple
got those
puppies, dude. Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
that,
man.
bro. Who else do we have out there in the building? We got Donnie Leah. What is that? Leopold is in the building. Thank you for your Leopold is in the building. Thank you. 12-inch Moose Dream. Still hasn't told me why he has that name, but who else do we actually
really want to know?
I don't even want to know, man. Nope. We got Mind's Eye 36 out there. Thank you for being here. We got Mary Sullivan in the building. Thank you for being here. We got Raleigh Reviews out there. We got Willie Woodson out there. We got Sluggin16 out there. So, yes, we got quite a few people out there ready for the show. So, we are definitely going to jump in. JB Collections in the building. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so we definitely got quite a few people out there ready to go with this, man. So, yeah. I mean, all right. So we've closed out another season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now, here's the thing, and I'll say right off the back, I enjoyed the season for what it was. I enjoyed seeing Bo-Katan's journey, and I know that, it just felt like for me, this is something that both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were building up to, was just the, taking back Mandalore. So that was heavily focused in this particular season. But from what we know now, by the end of the season, by the end of this episode, we know what direction Din and Grogu are going. And I know that there were a lot of speculations about this episode. I'm so happy that none of those speculations came into fruition. Some of the stuff that was talked about, I would have been kind of mad if it was. But definitely excited about that. Here's the thing, like I said, with the complete season, there were some hits and there were some misses. But even with that being said, I still thoroughly enjoyed the season for what it was. I respect the vision of, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, the direction that they took, the directors that were, doing the show. It was their vision, and I followed with their vision the entire time. And I was so excited. And it ended the way I felt as though I wanted to see it end. And I was so excited about it. Yeah, like, overall, really quick, going around season wise, Mario, how did you feel about it, man?
Oh boy. It definitely had its highs and lows, man. There was, I felt like I was let down, to be honest, man. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. The thing is that these characters, I really like these characters a lot, and when you mentioned, Joe, about, the journey with Bo-Katan, I love seeing that too, man. But I just felt the season was just a little bit weak, just because of, like, there were I think there's like a lot of empty episodes, not episodes, but I think a lot of empty plot, that was there that didn't really need to, I don't know. I guess just to fill in the season, it was kind of strange. I mean, the whole thing with the, what was it? Dr. Pershing episode that was stretched out way too long. That didn't. I mean, while I enjoyed it, now that we're at the end of the season, it didn't really need to be as long as it was. The thing with the Mythosaur, in my opinion, they didn't wrap that up either. It was just there, and then we got a little glimpse at the end of it. And it was like, okay. I mean, maybe some of us are expecting too much, when we see some of these things, but I don't know, man. I mean, even the last episode that we saw with, the Cameo episode, that whole thing was for nothing, in my opinion, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, while, some of the stuff was, like, kind of cool to see, is just that it didn't really do anything for the story overall, from my point of view. And that's what the finale as well was for me. It didn't really resonate much with me. It really, I was watching some of it again, and there were some exciting parts in there. There's some really cool action scenes. It was great. It was great for that, but it lacked, I don't know what it was. I mean, it just, the wrapping up and the entire story, it felt a little bit rushed, in my opinion. I felt like we should have got Gideon established a little bit earlier, within the season, just so we know that what's going on. Okay, Gideon is out there. What's he up to? Instead of just introducing the antagonist, towards what the penultimate episode. I think we all knew that he was out there, but I think just to kind of confirm it that he was just there, later on was kind of I think it was like a missed opportunity to have him come in earlier. But aside from that, man, I mean, the whole thing, the episode with him going back to Mandalore, the acquisition, with him going back with R5, exploring Mandalore, I thought that was cool. Seeing Bo-Katan again in her castle, all moped out, but they were able to convince her to go back to Mandalore as well. I thought that was really cool. The Mythosaur was dope as hell, to see that. But that's why I was like, I really, really wanted to see that pay off, towards the end of the season. The visual effects were amazing for this season, man. I think they absolutely stepped it up. I think a lot of the budget, went to the visuals. They look great. Seeing the TIE Advance, or not the TIE Advance, the interceptors again, the bombers, that was really, really cool to see all those, the remnant Imperial ships, that are out there. Like I said, seeing Navarro civilized like that, how Grief Karga established everything into a safe haven, to have a community there and to have kids like that was so cool, man. And I kind of thought we would see Hondo, considering the pirate episode. I think that, I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but I was like, I kind of thought we would actually see him. But still, for me, it was just, overall, like I said, it just wasn't, considering that it was 2 years that it took to get this. I think, I don't know, maybe I have my expectations set a little bit too high, perhaps. It just wasn't I don't think it was as good as like the first 2 seasons, which is disappointing, because I mean, I want all Star Wars to be good, of course. We're all huge fans of it. But just to see it kind of play out the way that it did is just kind of like, it's not completely upsetting, but it's just like, it's disappointing in a sense. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be that Debbie Downer, but that was just like,
I mean, if that's your opinion, like I said, that's definitely
man.
be to respect it. So I get it. I get it.
So-
For some people, it might have been that way. For me, real quick, and then I'm gonna actually take it over to Vinny real quick.
Yeah.
For me, it was because I don't go into any of these seasons with expectations. I go into it with the lowest of it, not low expectations, but none at all, because I just want to enjoy it for what it is.
For what it is, exactly.
And the thing is, I enjoyed the season because I, from a certain standpoint, knew that they were trying to take back Mandalore, and I knew it was going to be more so Mandalorian focused. But I also love the journey. I love just the dichotomy between both Bo and Den, because of the simple fact that both of them were basically working on. It was sort of like a redemption story for Bo. Being that her entire, creed, her clan was disgraced. Her family name was disgraced at that time. She became an apostate, you know what I mean? Because again, she was, pretty much, if you think about her family name, it was in a sense cursed. I enjoyed that. You know what I mean? I love that so much, just looking at that journey. Same with Den. He was so, like, he is loyal. He's probably one of the loyalest characters that I will actually see on camera. He is loyal to the creed. He was loyal to her. He's somebody that you want in your corner that will get the job done. And if everybody was complaining the entire season about him taking the back seat, this last episode, he got busy. Busy, and I was excited about that. So I think that going into it, knowing that vision, a lot of it is, it's like you said, a lot of people set certain expectations, right? They'll have those expectations, and I hear this a lot. The common jargon that you hear amongst the community is, so I feel this way, or I want to see this, or I would want to see that. When you're saying that, you're limiting the director and the writer's vision, because we're supposed to be following them. So if you follow them, you get a chance to see their vision and what they want to basically give you. But you got to close off your expectations and kind of lean back on what you want to see and just let the vision itself take place. And that's just the way I went into it. And that's why I enjoyed it from beginning to end. But the thing is, my opinion is not to sway everybody. It's just saying how I felt about it and how much
Yeah.
I enjoyed the journey. And like Bo-Katan quickly became one of my favorite characters, like literally. So that's just the way I felt about it. Vinny, how did you feel about the season overall so far?
I really dug the season. I had, general consensus I agree with is it was a pretty much a roller coaster season. There were some pretty high highs and pretty low lows for me personally. I think that it's probably like third on the list of my favorites is if I'm ranking the Mandalorian seasons, but I still I still have it above a lot of other things that I enjoy. So it was still great even if it wasn't the greatest Mando season. I think that there was three episodes. I wasn't a huge fan of the first episode, Apostate, the Finle episode, or the Guns for Hire episode. And I feel like the issues that a lot of people have with the story, like, were very easy to overcome when the episodes were great. And when there was great episodes, it was like, yeah, I don't care who's heading the show. This is fucking amazing. But then when the episodes aren't so great, it's like it just gives you time to like focus and to pick on the things that you weren't necessarily expecting going into the show. It just kind of made them more blatantly obvious. So the Guns for Hire episode felt like super filler and out of place, and there's people who love that, people who are like absolutely ecstatic for Lizzo and Jack Black, and you know what, more power to them. But it just wasn't for me, and that's fine. There was cool stuff to take away from that episode, a lot of hokey stuff to to pick apart. But for every episode like that, there was you know at least two episodes that were just badass Star Wars stuff that we've come to expect from this show. So all the other episodes I really dug. I really found amazing. Um, the the lead up to this finale was incredible. Like you said, Mandalorian just put in work. That barrier sequence was like that was some John Wick shit, man. It was incredible. He got busy with no weapons, man. He had to put in work. It was amazing. I think it's justified though that people are used to seeing an entire season of Jaren getting that much shine as sequences like that. They were obviously more spread out. A lot of Bo-Katan loved us this season, and that's cool. There was a lot of great stuff from her. I think this Mandoverse stuff is people are trying to just come to terms and figure it out because no one could have expected the way Book of Boba Fett would have went with how there was obviously focus on different characters that weren't him and bringing in Mando here. Some of the focus is going to be Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Okay. Some of the focus is going to be on, Andor sequence and Mandalorian. Some of the focus is going to be on Bo-Katan, Filoni coming out and saying, and Favreau coming out and saying, oh, well, it's called The Mandalorian, not really the Din Djarin show. And it's like, that's kind of like tongue-in-cheek a little bit because a lot of people obviously are expecting it to be about Din Djarin. The irony, though, is, and what I found so great about the irony of the backlash this season is this. They did their job too well because many of us, when this show started, was like, they're doing a show on just some random Mandalorian and not Boba Fett. They're just calling it the Mandalorian, and it's just some NPC. It's just some dude in a Mandalorian suit. What we want to see a Boba Fett show, not this. And then we got to see the first episode, and we were like, Boba who? This dude is incredible. And then we got 2 seasons of Mandalorian just absolutely being incredible and badass. So much so that even when Boba Fett came onto the show, you were like, man, I hope they don't replace Mando. That is powerful storytelling that you have 30 years of people wanting Boba Fett TV or movie, and then you getting something different Mandalorian related and liking that just as much, if not more, than the OG. That is really like a testament to how well they did with this show. So I take it as a compliment in a way that when the focus is on Bo-Katan or something else, that people are like, "Oh man, I want to see Din Djarin," because here's somebody that people were knocking that was the star of the show, and that it wasn't about Boba Fett or somebody. So there was so much to take home from this season. I'm okay that it wasn't as great as Luke showing up at the end of season 2. I'm glad that they didn't try to top that. I'm glad they didn't throw in Boba Fett and Ahsoka and Thrawn and all this extra shit at the end to make it. I'm glad that they just let it rest on its laurels. They told a story, and they didn't waste the finale on trying to get people to get buzz with
fan servicey. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have super fan serviced the shit out of the finale, but instead they told a beginning, middle, and end of a story that was important to tell, and they prioritized their story that they were telling this season over let's get the internet talking.
Yeah.
Because it made sense when Luke showed up. It built towards it. You didn't know that was going to happen, but it made sense. They didn't just throw him in there just for attention. But that would have happened here. I felt like it would have came out of fucking nowhere. So I really enjoyed how they played out this.
They didn't do that,
told the story and set up Mandalore, set up Mythosaurus, and then Celebration revealed stuff that I think helps deal with whatever you didn't get here, because they're going to do a movie wrapping up the loose ends of this and of Ahsoka and of Book of Boba Fett, and so I love that it's one big world. So whatever you're not getting here, you might get some more. I mean, for all we know, Din will be on the Ahsoka show doing stuff, or we could see more Boba Fett there. I love that they're MCUing it in a way and making it so that way you never know what's going to happen on any of these shows because they're so linked and tied in together. So I dug it. There was definitely some questionable things, and I think those gripes are valid. I think there was some stuff that just was interesting and difficult choices for some people. And hey, not everybody's going to dig everything, but I feel like what was strong was every episode that wasn't for me, the next episode was like, okay, we got you this one. So that's cool with me. You know what I mean? I don't expect to win every time.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel that. How did you feel about like the season as a whole? I mean, I know that Grogu is mainly your focus and everything, and he got this last episode for Grogu was everything that I wanted it to be for that character, because the thing is, it was like I wanted him to show his scale of power, and he did that. So I was definitely happy about it. But how did you feel about the season?
Well, my expectation from the season was that I wanted to see more about Mandalorian culture. And so it kind of starts off where you kind of do get to see a lot of rituals and things like that. And I felt like we needed to see a little bit more of that, and that there were groups of people who were keeping it alive. And I think we all knew that this the covert, the Children of the Watch, needed to get off of that Land of the Lost planet that was like grabbing
location.
Every freaking 5 minutes there was some monster bothering. I said, it can't stay here. And so it was nice to kind of see where they were able to kind of leave and go to Navarro or go to Mandalore or wherever they want to go. But that location had to change. It was not, a good location for them. However, it did allow them to focus on using weapons. And we got to see, a lot of combat situations, just even amongst themselves. Grogu got to play paintball for the first time. There was a lot of passages that we even have, seeing him do things like that. So that was kind of cool. And of course, when he was on the beach, he wasn't just playing with rocks. There were creatures inside, and he likes to talk to other creatures and stuff like that. But I also thought it was funny that, after we found out that Navarro was rebranded, it's legit now. I said, wouldn't it be funny since, and I did love how, Grief was like, well, you too can own a piece of Navarro, for just $100,000 or whatever it is, 100,000 credits. He's got his timeshare thing or whatever it is going on. And I said, wouldn't it be funny if they did end up living on Navarro in a homestead, and that's exactly what happened, right? I mean, they kind of foreshadowed that a little bit, but it was actually kind of nice to see them with their own home. And as someone had said, it would have been nice if he took off his helmet and kind of sat in the sun. And I'm like, but it wouldn't, yeah, I guess he could have done that, but it was really kind of funny. I think maybe what they could have done is just maybe he could have had like, a smoothie or something, and he kind of shifts the helmet to the side while Grogu's playing in the pond or something. And then we know he's really relaxed, right? But it was just really funny. I had no idea all this time that Grogu was not adopted. For some reason, I thought he was officially his dad.
Yeah.
Find
Yeah.
out, it's like, oh well,
Officially, right?
Mandalorian
Yeah.
Apprentice, and I'm like, wait a minute, Mandalorian Apprentice sounds like a game or the name of a book. Mandalorian Apprentice. And you have to. Wouldn't it be a cool game? Din and Grogu going across the galaxy, doing their combat missions. Mandalorian Apprentice. In each part, Grogu learns something. But I also thought it was very interesting because we got this I felt like the O'Brien character was one of the strongest characters this season, and I thought she was great. I think she's a wonderful actress, and I want to see more of her going on, and I wonder what her future is going to be. And I didn't even know the Shadow Collective existed. I had no idea who these people were.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see like them all kind of around, and I was like, hey, these guys have resources. Gideon, who would have guessed that Gideon had a secret base on Mandalore? Sorry. So I was surprised. I didn't know he had that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And also we learned more about Mandalore. At least I did anyway. I didn't know the Forge was the heart of their civilization. I had no idea the Mythosaur. I mean, they hinted that that's what we were going to see, but who would have guessed we would have seen it so quickly?
Yeah.
In the season. So that was kind of like surprising. And I think inevitably when we got to see, I bought the Axe Wolves 1/6 figure, but I don't have a head sculpt. And
hopefully now they need to give us hashtag Axe Wolves head sculpt, because they need one now, because he was a boss, like straight up. He was a boss and he did his thing. Because I remember like last season, we were like at the rescue episode, because he wasn't there. We was like, okay, that'd be the last time we see Axe Wolf. Everybody wasn't really collecting the figure. I got it because I was like, I wanted it as far as
too.
I wonder how many people are going to probably get it now, just because that he did his thing.
The funny part about it is that he's the one who's like, Mandalore forever or whatever. Like,
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, for Mandalore, like, yeah, like, he was the one that,
he's like one of the most important people, and he of course was the leader. I'm like, you mean to tell me the man who temporarily was a leader? And did you guys ever think he was gonna? I didn't know what he was doing with that ship. I didn't know he was gonna be destroying the clone thing, which was creepy, like seeing the clone open its eyes and the thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's multiple clones. That's scary. Even Grogu was like, what the hell? But I think that a lot of the focus, it is true that there was talk about the Darksaber, but a lot of the focus wasn't just on the Darksaber, because that was kind of like one of the main things that was focused on for so long. And we got to see other things about Mandalorian culture that was important. For example, I like when someone said, let it be written in song. Like, this is like, we have to start these Mandalorian phrases, or I think it's time that this person became this, and I'm like, wow, that's how you introduce stuff in Mandalore. And also the armorer, who we still don't know her name. That's the thing that I really would like to know who this woman is, but she had the same helmet as Moff Gideon had, which was very interesting, and still is, maybe it's just another type of Mandalorian helmet, and that's just it, and she didn't deny being part of Death Watch, so we know she probably was. It doesn't matter. I think that this is it was fun looking at how, and to be honest with you, this was just scratching the surface. They could have put in a lot more if they wanted to in this, but there's a reason why they haven't. And I also think that there might be, I don't know if it's true, but there might be some pressure for them to focus on like having longer episodes. And I'm like, let's have 30-minute episodes if that's what you want to give us. If we can have 30-minute episodes like the last episode, I would prefer all 30-minute episodes if they were like the last episode that just had so much in it. the way that it flowed. So overall, I give this season an 8 out of 10 because of everything I said. That was kind of a lot that we learned.
Yeah.
And
Well said.
I still love my vacation home, guys. I spend part of my time when I'm not here in Coruscant. And I just love how
In
they showed
Navarro.
how beautiful Coruscant is.
Yeah, Coruscant. Yeah.
It's so lovely. I know we're not the center of the universe, but we might as well be.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's what I loved, and like you said, it was a simple fact that we got a chance to see more of Mandalore. We got a chance to basically find out and learn more, about the culture. You know what I mean? Pretty much everything. I loved, and don't forget, may he rest in peace. You already know who I'm talking about, man. Like definitely Heavy Mando himself, Paz Vizsla was a boss. Last episode was incredible. I loved that episode, and I loved even his
Hagar,
his story and his journey itself, like
Yeah.
from being someone who was just like ruthless, really hardcore, that you got a chance to see that he would do anything for his son. And we find out because I think one of the biggest things for us was like, okay, how did the Mandalorians procreate? Because all they have right now is this armor. Like they don't like.
Well,
Do
I
they
have
take
an
off
idea
the
of
armor?
how they
They don't. They
You know
just
what I
find
mean?
kids and then
They
they
just
adopt
find
them.
yeah, they find
details
kids.
you need to.
And
You know,
their adoption process is really simple. Like I declare him like that. There's no
Yeah.
paperwork. There's just dibs.
They
That's
procreate
it.
with their
Dibs.
hats on, okay? Let's just
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's like a
hats
Cabbage
on.
Patch
Wow.
Kid. You just fill out the form and
Thanks
just
for the visual.
like but their culture is just and the thing is it's like I know like throughout the entire season everyone was really suspicious of the armor and basically her
Always.
ways.
Yeah.
It's just the simple fact that who she is she lives by creed. She lives by that. She lives by just the Mandalorian way and wanting to basically see the Mandalorian strive. You know what I mean? So she's really hardcore and by the book. She's a by the book type of person, but we even see now that she's even breaking from certain levels of tradition, even if it means bringing Mandalore together. And that's what I loved about it. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, I loved how all of these speculations that people had when they were talking about, oh, she's the spy. Axe Wolves is the spy. Who else did they say was the spy? And then it was even things going around. Din Djarin's going to die. I'm like, do y'all understand how popular this character is? There is no way in hell. Every con you go to, even if you don't go basically to a Star Wars celebrations, Vinny, we go to New York Comic Con. How many Mandalorians were walking around like straight up? They're there. So
and also Grogu couldn't solve every problem, and this was very important too. Was that he it was fun to see? Well, first of all, I was scared for him when those Praetorian guards went after him. And he was
you gotta be fucked up to be like, hold up, let's go kill the baby.
and he ran off and I also thought it was very interesting where when of course Din saved him. A lot of people saved Grogu in this, and he helped out too, but occasionally Moff Gideon came towards him and then he was like pushed him, used force push, and I'm like, yeah, go Grogu, did what he could. He's not a Jedi master, so it was nice to see where he's like, I'm just going to push the weapon away, or I'm just gonna make this person hold off so that Din doesn't get killed. It was kind of important, but he was not. At the end, he did save them with the Force protection. But my point being that he also needed to be saved quite a lot. That was good to see that he still needs other.
And you know what? It was gasp like when basically you saw those Praetorian guards go after him and the door shut. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, somebody gotta get back there, get him in, hurry up, please. But I was like, okay.
Brilliantly shot, Din trying to go after him and Moff just holding back, nope, he's on his own. And it was really, really great, intense moment. And his story was really interesting this season because, as we talked about many times, there's definitely justification for questioning him even being on the season, because the way they set up season 2 was as if he wasn't going to be on the season, and I do feel like they reunited them too soon and should have had him training with Luke for longer. and I felt like it would have been amazing if they held off that reunion until the end of this season and let didn't see if he could carry the show on his own, and he would have had a lot of help with Bo being so important on this season as well. But I feel like, and we'll never know, but it definitely feels like Disney was like, no, he needs to be on every episode. That's our cash cow. People aren't going to watch if he's not on it, so work him in. And it feels like most of the season they were just finding some shit for him to do for some reason to be there. And then it almost feels like he was always supposed to be at the end of the season, because the last couple episodes, it was absolutely integral that he was there, and it worked out perfect. I mean, the IG payoff was brilliant, super, super creative and fun. Another Grogu thing that like transcends Star Wars. Like everybody from your grandmother to the hardcore Star Wars heads, had something, with Grogu. Like that was so brilliant. Like, and then you got to see him do like his most powerful feat yet, like stopping a whole ship explosion is so much more than a flamethrower. Like that was insane. And I also love this episode. We got what, as a child, I thought the Clone Wars would have been an army of freaking Mandalorians fighting. And the special effects for that fight was movie quality. Movie quality. Like there were so many scenes of jetpack attacks where somebody's swiping a sword or a knee or blast that was so brilliantly shot, because it didn't linger. It wasn't super choppy, but yet it didn't linger long enough for you to feel like they're on wires, or you know what I mean? It was so well executed and shot. It really felt like we were watching hundreds of people in jetpacks fighting in the sky,
bro.
And I mean, and you could be not a Bo-Katan fan at all if you weren't like, holy shit, at her like leading the way with the Darksaber. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That shit was cool.
Bro. That was the dopest scene.
I love how she's fine and she's like, yo, it'd be cool.
Bro, but it was, I'm looking at the simple fact that, okay, she had, like, for her, bro, she had the Darksaber. That Casca Reeves had her blaster. That, everybody else, but the armor, bro.
Yo, here's the great thing. Yo, she wasn't just like happened to be at home and just had her hammers on her. She went into battle like, yeah, keep the guns. I'm good with these 2-piece.
Yeah, bro.
Yo,
she was bro, like the shot when you saw basically one of the jet troopers flying around, so you seen it from their angle, and then all of a sudden you just see the armor come up and just pop.
That's what I'm talking about. Those quick shots are just in and out.
Yeah, bro.
They were just perfectly shot.
If you are a Clone Wars fan, if you were basically a Clone Wars fan, animated series fan, if you basically love season 7, if you love basically season all the seasons that literally included the Mandalorians, and you wanted to see that fleshed out, you got a chance to basically see that here, and that was so dope about this last episode.
And for those that don't know what I was talking about with Clone Wars, when we were young, like back in the 80s, 90s, we always were told that Lucas had considered the Clone Wars that that Obi-Wan Kenobi talks about in Star Wars to be a Mandalorian war. So that's what we always thought that the Clone Wars would be. Now, of course, it was a version of that with the clone troopers coming from Django, but that isn't exactly what we had always. We imagined a fucking army of Boba Fett's, and that's what we got. And it's just something that I thought I'd never see. So it was really cool to see this season. All I know is that the episode with the dragon taking the kid, I want that retcon, because apparently that jet fuel is not an issue. If you can fly in orbit, if you can fly in orbit with a jetpack, there's no reason they couldn't have followed that dragon.
You're comparing jetpacks from the night owls.
The atmosphere to subterranean and back again. That's full feat of doing that from above, having to fly above. There, and
different clans had different jetpacks.
Clan it is, but not even just clan set. But not just
Incredibly
clan
good.
set
Really
though,
good.
it's resources, because the thing is, of course, they are working with, the Watch, they're working with limited resources. You know what I mean? They don't really have too much. Whereas the Night Owls, basically, I mean, they're basically working off of the simple fact that they have these resources they gained from being like mercenaries going around. Like they had an entire damn fleet. So they had access to more, especially fuel. They have access to pretty much
they got to
all of
fill it
that.
up. And
Yeah.
you seen them on that planet, like Rita said. Like they had dragons snatching kids from the sky. They had alligator monsters in the ocean. They didn't even have a sheets, nothing. So
Yeah.
where were they filling up their jetpacks at? So I guess they just must have way more fuel and much better, gas mileage, because he got space, bro.
It was shocking to hear Paz Vizsla say they have taken other younglings, and I'm like, what? You're
yeah. I'm like, who picked that damn planet? Like, if y'all, like, literally, y'all got there. So who picked the damn planet? Like, who picked that planet? Like, straight up, it was a hazard.
Yeah.
Like, literally, and they were after the kid the entire time. They just wanted his kid. So it must have been like literally. Bro, Vinny, in my mind, when I saw that dragon, when that pterodactyl type of creature flying, in my mind, I was hearing Tony Baker saying some morsels, bro, because that's all I could hear was him going after. Like, that's what it seemed like. All he wanted was those kids. And the thing is, it's like, I guess, well, he wasn't, the only thing that was Beskar on that kid was the helmet. Nothing else on him was Beskar. So having that thing regurgitate the kid from his stomach the entire time, I'm like, wait a minute, there would have been some, but again,
they got their revenge though, because when they stole those baby dragons or whatever they were, there was a scene where they were eating.
They cooked.
I was gonna say, whatever happened with them? Yeah,
they
there was a
cooked
scene
them,
where they
bro.
were eating a roast, and it was exactly the size that those babies would have been. Yo, they ate them kids.
Damn. Damn, that's dark, dude.
Bro, they did literally show that. And on every meme that I saw on the internet, it was like, yo, you're probably wondering, this is where they are. Like, literally, they fucked them kids up and ate. So, hey, man, a feast. So they got their revenge. But
and one other thing I wanted to say was that R5 came into R5's own. I was going to say,
finally.
Jim was even calling him Buddy. I'm like, wow, okay.
I think he's as effective and knowledgeable as R2. He's an astromech, and he can do incredible things. And I had talked about how he plugged into Bo-Katan's ship, and I'm like, oh, he's going to download all that information. And he's the one who told the Republic or alerted to Republic to different things. And someone was like, oh, thanks, R5. And I'm like, R5, you went and you called someone on your own? Like, why are you doing that, R5? But R5 then went ahead and, came back and was the one who kind of was doing things that we would expect to see in Star Wars. Can you disable the shields, R5? R5, we need to know where the throne room is. R5, here's all this stuff. And R5's like, okay. And the little creature thing scared him. Like, he's afraid of these other little, these tiny little things that can't really hurt him. But it was, I guess he does have a new
motivator. Yeah.
I want also interesting. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm sorry. It was also interesting that we also had an episode of and I know it was the Lizzo episode, but remember, they are a group of people who live in the lap of luxury off of the labor of robots and artificial intelligence. So that was another very interesting episode, because you also got to see these droids and things kind of like in a bar. And I'm like, that had kind of like a Blade Runner feel to it. But I thought it was interesting that there are worlds where, they're just living off of the labor of these droids. And they need them because they want to live in the lap of luxury.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's all they care about. So we got to see a lot of different types of personalities of people in the universe, many of who sometimes contribute to, empire rule or, that type of abusive rule. So that was interesting too.
Yeah, definitely.
R5 definitely had a bad motivator, because this dude flew into the space station and then looked over the edge like he was afraid of falling. I'm like, yo, you were just flying. You'll be all right. And I had no idea that the mouse droids were like little cops. I thought they were like glorified Roombas. and apparently they're also security. I never
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know it either. It was unbelievable. So there was a lot to enjoy in it, and I think that it's. I think I want to watch it all in succession. Like one after the other this time. Sometimes it was hard
Mhm.
to kind of
This
figure
season
out.
would have been a good binge season more so than others.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely would. I mean, the thing is, and I know we had talked about this a while, and I was right there with you, like literally, and just call it corny. You can call it corny if you want, but I definitely wanted to see, because the thing is, they build up to it, and we did see like a level of chemistry between Bo
Oh
and
hell
Ben.
yeah! Oh
And
hell yeah!
I saw that and I liked it. Like I like the simple fact that there was like camaraderie there. I'm not saying it has to
Mhm.
be like romance, but I was like, I'm normally one of those individuals that doesn't err on that side, but just seeing the chemistry between them, I was like, yo, that was pretty dope.
He pledged
But
his loyalty to her.
yeah, like literally, like this was a dope scene. I definitely did love this scene. But again, like just seeing that. But I liked her journey. I loved her journey because again, when she said she gave up her wanting to rule Mandalore, she gave that up. You know what I mean? Now she's for the people and just wanting everyone to actually have their place and their space. Then now you saw a transition with him because he's not just a regular bounty hunter now. Now he's basically, working for or with the Republic, the New Republic, you know what I mean? Or trying to, make sure that they can rid them of like de facto, individuals from the Empire, finding them, hunting them down. So I think that like at the core of it, when we look at this episode, like, and I like what you said, Vinny, that they didn't focus on like just bringing fan service. They wanted to tie this story up with everyone that was from this show, from this season. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted to tie that up well. I think the only thing that we actually got a chance to see fans, not even a fan service here, but a redemption moment, which I loved when they brought Ahmed Best in. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love the simple fact
Yeah.
that we got a chance, which I believe we're going to see more of him, between him and that story between him and Grogu. We're going to actually see that fleshed out again. But I think this whole season was, again, getting to Mandalore, taking back Mandalore, being able to basically call, and now then can get back to what he knows. And I think that's what we're going to see in season 4, where it's more centered around him. This season it had aspects of what he needed, but at the same time, we needed to see Bo's redemption, and we needed to see those clans, those factions come together in the end to restore and reclaim Mandalore. Because again, we know that Mandalore is a threat to the Empire, and even the reestablishment of the First Order and everything like that. They fear that. So it's interesting now that they can reclaim it. And even like with the episode with Lizzo and Jack Black, now, consider the simple fact that Bo Katan, has the key, they can even rely on resources from them to kind of help rebuild, because they said, I forget his Jack Black's character's name, but he was responsible for, again, the construction of that world. So he can actually help them with reconstructing Mandalore and providing certain resources to make sure that, it's a more functioning. Now that the forge is lit, there's so much more that we can actually see. And it was underground greenery where they planted that, and it's providing resources for the planet. It's for Mandalore itself. We can see those things. So I'm happy where that goes, but it's like closing the book on this particular chapter, but allowing Mando now to extend. And I know that there were rumors out there that I heard that Kathleen Kennedy and Favreau didn't see eye to eye about bringing Grogu back. Like they didn't see eye to eye about bringing him back in the fold after, Luke had him, because you might as well say that everything happened with season 2 was completely at the end of season 2 was completely wiped away. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it didn't really matter, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
So
but it was 2 years later, right? I
mm,
mean, it
that's
was
what
two
I'm
years
saying.
later.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
also, the other thing too was that we found out that Bo-Katan had actually surrendered to save the Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how they got double crossed, and she didn't tell anyone. I guess they thought that all the Mandalorians thought they had just lost. and in actuality she was trying to save her people. That was quite a reveal for me anyway. It's probably in a book somewhere, but it at first it didn't feel like it was 2 years, but I think it has been some time since that. And I agree that he should still be with Luke, but it's been a little while, and things are very different since when he was searching. I guess Luke is always there for Grogu, and since Grogu's going to be alive much longer, at least I think, than Din, you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, this is true. This is
Yeah,
very true.
it's one of those decisions that I don't think takes a lot of, you know, in-depth analysis. It's clearly that money is the reason. I mean, storytelling wise, it just makes all the sense in the world that they would have had him train with Luke a little bit more. But clearly, they felt like the show, needed that for the casual viewership. And from a suit standpoint, I get it. It's just I feel like it could have stood on its own, but it is what it is. I think one of the other frustrating things about the season though is Gino Carano messing up the New Republic show, because we could have had a whole another show where we had Mandalorian getting a bounty, jobs and being on that show. Like clearly they had that set up for a whole nother show where Jaren would have been on missions for the Republic, and that's gone now. So now it's just like implied. That's a bummer.
Yeah, and that it's going to be interesting. I mean, of course, I think that we're going to see at least I would say that we would see at least another discussion, or at least because if you're talking about Heir to the Empire, I don't care what anybody, Luke has to have some involvement in that, period. Like there has to be some involvement with Luke, because Heir to the Empire, bro, when we're talking about that entire story, when we're talking about such characters as Luke, Han and Leia basically even learning more about the Force, her being like a really central character in that as well. Mara Jade came from Heir to the Empire as well. There's so many different ways. Like there's Ahsoka, yes, they want to introduce that, but Luke has to have some type of involvement in that as well. So that's why I'm hoping with Ahsoka it would make more sense. Even like what was it? Is I forget, keep mispronouncing Hondu, like the pirate. He would have, and again, because we know that he has like a really good friendship, with Ezra. So I would think that we would see more of him in Ahsoka than anything as well. You know what I mean?
It made
So
a lot more sense to have Hondo as the pirate instead of Swamp Thing. But
yeah, true. Yeah, I think that we'll see more of that there. And again, that's something to look out for. I think so right now we have Ahsoka next. Or is it when does the because I'm even excited about what is it, the Tales of the Jedi season 2. When does that drop?
Visions is supposed to be dropping next month, from what I understand.
Okay, so Visions drops. Yeah, okay, yeah. So we'll get Visions. I'm just wondering where Tales of the Jedi is going to fall into, because that trailer.
Did they confirm that? Did they confirm? Oh, so they released the trailer for a second season?
Yeah, because they played the trailer at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, we didn't get that.
It looks so dope, bro. It looks so dope, and it's
I think Visions season 2 is on the 4th, right? For May the 4th.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, right. Acolytes trailer 2. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, bro. And the thing is, they're talking about the Acolyte is also on the lines of Andor. They said it's a mix between. They said what they call it, a mix between Frozen and Kill Bill. And I think the way
Frozen and Kill Bill.
Yeah. Okay. But I think it's the reason why it's because of the relationships with the sisters from Frozen. You know what I mean? So I think that's what they're looking at, but more Kill Bill when it comes, because there's a lot of Jedi fights. There's a lot of going on in the Acolytes. There's a lot going on with that. So yeah, it's it's just it's exciting. It's exciting, man. So when I like, if I'm ranking the seasons, as far as Mando, season 2 was one of the dopest seasons I've ever seen. So I would say season 2, season 1, and then I would actually put this next. I mean, at the end. But even with that, basically still saying it, and I know this wasn't a popular season for everybody. We still got a lot from it, and there was
to take away from the season.
Yeah, a lot to basically take away from this season that I was pleasantly happy about. I loved it a lot, bro. I did. Was it the best? No, but it wasn't the worst. It was not the worst. It wasn't this dumpster fire that a lot of people were painting and pegging it out to be. But I think that we learned what the biggest thing to learn from all of this, especially to learn from this season, lower your expectations, please. Like, just lower them. Like, just go into it, like Vinny, not watching the trailer. I'm just going to go into it fresh and just, open my eyes, to just, that's the thing, is like following another person's vision. You know what I mean? And just following them and just to see where they go with it. That's what I would actually say, honestly. So, and hopefully we get something next. What we got, season 4. They haven't really announced when that season's going to be. But I'm guessing it's definitely going to be after Ahsoka, the Acolytes, and also what is it? What's that?
The Jude Law one?
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, after that. And then finding out that Jude Law's a Jedi. Yo, I'm like, oh wow. I can't wait. I definitely can't wait for that. So that's what I've been wanting. More Jedi love, and we're getting that with a couple of these shows, man. So I can't wait.
Do you guys feel like there's a possibility that there won't be a season 4? Because for me, the way that it wrapped, it kind of felt like more of a series finale than a season finale.
Well, he said he already got season 4 written.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know what you talk about. It did seem like that was like it, but I kind of like that because I feel like I'm glad they didn't force a cliffhanger of like, oh, tune in next season.
Well, no, not just for the next season, but why not set up Ahsoka? Introduce us to some of the characters, because Ahsoka's right up next. Get that hype going. For the casual viewer to say, oh, what's coming out? What's coming up next? Who is this character? Something like that. I would have I actually would have thought they would have shown something like that. We were talking about Sabine, the possibility of showing some of them. I mean, they made mentions of Thrawn, but I mean, if they would have actually maybe showed like a little glimpse of him from behind. Just kind of introduce them in, and say something like, oh, Thrawn, it will be in Ahsoka coming in August or something like that. Instead of ending it the way that they did, I think they could have capitalized on something like that.
I think, though, the purpose of doing it this way is that they wanted to focus to be on Mandalore and to see and taking back Mandalore. They wanted to close this chapter off, and they made mentioning to like just certain things, but I just think they didn't want to throw a lot of it in. And set up certain expectations, because again, expectation was to basically have it just like, because season 2 set a high bar with that Luke episode. That was a high bar that I even think they knew couldn't be attained. You know what I mean? So they're just like, you know what? Yeah, why even try it? We'll just basically just create a season, make sure that this season is, telling the story that we want to actually tell, and end it off. And I think that what we've seen, even like in the very end, him saying that now he wants to be a gun for hire, for the Republic now, is starting that journey. So now we're getting back into what we've seen from Mando in season 1 and what we see in season 2. We're getting back to those elements now. It's just like, Lone Wolf and Cub. We're getting back to those elements now. Like, they closed the book, not even, and I don't necessarily say that they completed the the whole Mandalorian cultural type of situation. I'm not saying it just because they've taken back the planet that we're done with that. I just think that now they're going to focus more on Grogu, and then their journey is going to be the primary focus for season 4. Again, getting back to that. So,
and I also wonder, like, for their house, is it 3 bedrooms and 2 baths? Like, what's inside?
We need a Cribs Mandalorian episode.
That's right.
Come on in.
Yeah, where's he gonna park that N1?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, they said Benjamin said he said season 4 to start filming in late October 2023. So there we go. So they're gonna start filming that. Yeah.
Also, shout out to Pedro Pascal. He spent the whole season without taking that helmet off.
Without taking that helmet off.
Please, Hollywood, find someone as loyal as that to the character to play Doctor Doom.
Yeah. Find somebody to play Doctor Doom, and also Lucasfilm. We need a Lucasfilms and starting at Disney. We need a redemption for Boba Fett. Keep his helmet on. Like, literally, what we saw in this season is what I wanted to see for the first season of the Book of Boba Fett, and we didn't get that. Like, literally. So, come on, man. Y'all can do it. Y'all can definitely do that. So I can't wait to see it, man. Definitely can't wait to see it. Any last words about this season, y'all?
Nah, better not.
Long live Mandalore. Well,
So, all right,
Mandalore.
let me ask y'all a question, because before we close out, speaking of which, because Charlie the Unicorn brought up something very interesting. So we know that they made the announcements at Celebration about the films that we're getting. One of those films is the establishment of the Jedi Order. Another film is going to be the Academy, where Rey Skywalker is going to actually help out with that. I love Rey's character. A lot of people don't, but I know I do, so I'm excited about it. Also, we know that Filoni is going to continue on with, building and establishing, making a film version to establish the Mandoverse in a sense, in a different way, I believe. So he's going to continue on with that in live action. What do y'all think about that?
I love it and hate it, because if it was just a Mandoverse movie, I'd be all for it. I don't like that. Apparently, from what they said in the release, is that it's to wrap up all the loose ends and close it out. Yeah. I don't want all this stuff wrapped up and closed out in a couple years. Like, Ahsoka is just getting started. I could watch 10 seasons of Mandalorian and be fine, because when it's good, it's untouchable. I want to see Boba Fett redeemed. I want to see, as much as when I'm watching the Book of Boba Fett season 1, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch this season 2. I guarantee you that pilot's dope. I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Bad Star Wars is always easily forgotten by good Star Wars, because good Star Wars is great Star Wars. I don't want them to just like close it out real quick. I feel like there's so much untapped potential, and one of the Star Wars' problems that we complain about sometimes is going back to the well too many times with maybe the Skywalker family and stuff like that, which I love, but a lot of people, feel like enough is enough. And Mandalorian like branched out a whole new part of the world and part of society. Andor is all, is all new shit. But, even Book of Boba Fett like showed us Tusken Raider, like whole different sides of
world. So then, Vinny, why not wrap up the entire Mandoverse so you can actually get to that next story where they can introduce these new types of characters that everybody could be well established with later on down the line.
I feel like Din is new characters.
No, he is. No, he definitely is.
You know what I mean? Like, so these, I feel like you don't have to wrap this story up of these shows on the Star Wars shows currently are a lot of intertwining, so it's the Mandoverse. But I don't feel like you need to put a bow on that, in order to start telling new Star Wars stories with like Skeleton Crew and Acolytes. You can do both. Like, it's not MCU where you feel like you have to figure out a way to have Cameo everybody where everything ties in so that you don't miss anything. So I love the idea of doing a movie for him, but I don't feel like I don't want it to end. That's just my take on it. I mean, I feel like there's so much more for them to do.
What if
there's it feels like they've set up for their like Mandalorian. Mandalore is just now being reestablished. I would love to see in 5 years from now it being like a planet where they're running missions, and there's I feel like there's so many more stories to tell with Armor and Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and Grogu, and I mean somehow Grogu's going to survive, because there's no way they're going to wrap up Grogu in 2 years from now. Disney will be milking that character for 800 years.
So let me ask you a question though, because so what if, because we're talking about the Ahsoka's dropping, that's coming out in August. And we know that's going to be heavily influenced off of, Heir to the Empire with Thrawn and stuff like that. I don't think that I think that, this is sort of like a prelude to that, you know what I mean? To what's going to happen. Like that Thrawn is a big event that's tying everything together. And I think that's where that film's going to be represented. But I don't think we're going to
I feel
see
like
that
it would be a
film
mistake
go
to I feel like it would be a mistake uh to hope too heavily or have expectations for too much of Heir of the Empire to be in this Ahsoka or Thrawn stuff coming.
Mhm.
I feel
But
like that. I feel like
this is
it'll be what Filoni is doing is he's allowed to cherry pick from Legend stuff, but they're not going to let him go full Heir of the Empire because there's so much stuff that they blew the potential to do that with when Lucas did the prequels first instead of the sequels first.
And they
Like
also
we're not
said
going to have young Leia and Han with pregnant and I don't think we're going to get a lot of that stuff. I think we're going to
But you
get parts
can.
of it.
But
but
with
they
the
also
technology and the way they're doing things right now, you can. It doesn't have to be heavily influenced
They
on them
can
and
do
focused
anything,
on
but
them. But what I'm basically saying is, okay, we know that can be done. If you tell it from a totally different perspective where you have these new characters, again, we've seen it in Marvel. We basically see that in MCU where they've taken elements from a book. Like again, we got, the Winter Soldier. They've taken elements from that story. It wasn't directly related to what we saw in the comics. You're
right,
talking about Infinity War or, the Infinity Saga
they're going to
or
tweak it.
basically what we got at Age of Ultron. They've tweaked those particular stories with the characters that they do have. It
Right.
doesn't have to be necessarily focused on Han, Leia, Luke, the kids, Mara Jade, and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, if you can take elements of that, they have the technology deep fake to sort of show those characters, they're not really focused on them, but
Yeah,
then bring all the elements of the new characters that they have out there, the Filoniverse that he's created, and kind of dust that in there to say, okay, this is a totally different side that you didn't see. There's ways that you can do it and flesh it out, but if it's done over time and
right.
gradually, I'm not even saying that
I
his
think
film is going to be first for 2025. I think that Ray's story is going to be that first film.
I
I think that's going to be down the line.
I think they can is it possible for them to make these movies? Yes, but they haven't had the best luck with the movies. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're
Yeah, who knows if any of these will even get made,
to
given
be
their track record.
Mhm.
but their television shows tend to be a little bit better than what we've seen in some of the movies. So let's say they do make the movies, but their track record with movies, they're not quite as good as some of their television shows. So that's something that I'd rather see a Ray television series, honestly.
But I
No.
don't want them to alienate. That's the thing is like when we say that, then we're almost damn near alienating these film projects. Like, and I want to see Star Wars back on the big screen. I'm tired. I mean, the shows in the Mandoverse can only go but so far. You have to get this, and that's the thing is if you bought this franchise, part of that was to actually have films and have that cinematic universe. If you keep alienating that, then it's a lot of fans that are like, you know what? Well, not
Bro, I
even
don't
we're
think that's
seeing,
the fans. I think
we're,
that's them. They're fucking scared of their own shadow.
but they're doing it though. This is what I'm saying. Like, here's the
Yeah,
thing:
they've
they
been
have to
making
do it.
movie announcements for like 4 years though, and every time they make a big movie announcement, they just say, you know what?
I'm
Actually,
optimistic, man.
fine, never
I'm just
mind.
optimistic, and I think that basically,
I'm
especially
optimistic too.
the
I
way
want to
they
see a lot of
announced
this
it as
stuff.
Celebration, and the way they had this set up, and the way that they brought these three directors out there, it's like to me, I believe that they're going to push hard for this, and I'm very optimistic that they're actually doing that right now. There's a lot of dirt and mud being thrown on the franchise because of certain choices, and right now, to be quite honest, this is Kathleen Kennedy's way out. She's on her way out anyway, like literally from what's being said. And again, they have to get this ship right. I want to see the cinematic universe. I think a lot of us do. And I think that this is what they're working towards. But I think that we also have the confidence, have sort of like the confidence in, that they can kind of pull it off or want to see it. Because if we don't, I mean, listen, we have the television franchise right now, or the streaming properties out there. Book of Boba Fett wasn't received well. Obi-Wan wasn't received well. So they haven't, and then this like look, this past season or this particular season of the book of Mandalorian was divisive. You had some people who loved it, some people that didn't. So again, like there's skepticism there as well. I
Yeah,
think
but
they need to take the opportunity to put it on a big screen.
the sequels weren't received that well either. But they're still going back, to that same era. So that's what kind of got me. I mean, not that I mean, the character or anything, but it just kind of got me like wondering why would they take that chance right now? And another thing too is that why if they're gonna like establish a more films, and you just said that Kathleen Kennedy's on her way out, why not just wait till she's out and then announce more films? Because I think it'd be a little bit more believable with us fans knowing that she's like out completely, and
She's
that
been
these
on her way
movies
out for
have
like 10
more of a
years. She ain't going
chance, and these movies will have more of a chance to actually come out instead of the usual jargon that we're gonna stop this production just because of scheduling issues or something like that.
Bro, she ain't going nowhere
know.
though. She's been rumored to be on the way out for like
for
how
the
long?
longest. I know, dude. Just like everybody's been promising the N1.
But her contract literally is up next year. Like it literally is up. Like that's basically she only signed on for like another 2 years, and it's almost up. So it's up in 2024. So that's what I'm saying. Like again, right now, the focus is and has been for the last couple of years on these streaming properties. But what I'm saying is like, okay, yes, they milk that as far as they can go, but a lot of people still want to see these on the silver screen. They want to see basically the cinematic universe. And I think that there's an opportunity to do that. But I think that like right now, we can't really shit on something that we haven't seen. Literally, like we don't know where they're taking this Ray property yet. We haven't seen it. We don't know the script. We don't know the ideas. We just have to basically wait and see it. And I think that, even the directors that they have set in line, the director who basically directed Logan, you know what I mean? He's directing this, basically the beginning of the Jedi Order and stuff like that. I cannot wait to see that film. I'm so excited about something like that.
But here's the thing. I can't help but have in my head that we're just going to see another rehash. They build a Jedi Order, something goes bad, the Jedi Order is dismantled. There's a new bad guy that's going to bring the First Order or some sort of empire back again, and then we're doing this whole thing all over again, and round we go. You know what I mean? So that's why it's kind of hard for me to get excited for something like that, because I can't help but feel we're just gonna get another rehash.
But if we keep basically living in that space, and you know what part of our problem is, and I'll be quite honest, the part of the problem with basically the Star Wars community in general is the simple fact that we don't know how to let go. We want something new, but we still can't let go of the past. Like we really can't. Like we want something new. We're like, okay, give us something new. But then when they give it to us, we're like, oh damn! But I remember when this was how. Why didn't y'all do this? So this person wouldn't be that way. You can't have it both ways. You got to let go.
But that's why I'm saying move on. Move on completely from the Skywalker stuff. Just let that go. That is done. Concentrate on the High Republic stuff that they also announced. That's going to be fantastic. If they did more something in the lines of the Acolyte, explore more the Sith culture. That's another thing they can completely looking into. The Mandalorian storyline, concentrate, on that. For me personally, I just feel like I wouldn't mind to see Star Wars go away for a while, regroup, and then come back strong, where everybody's back on board again. I for one am more like amongst the lines of make us miss it, make us want it to come back, instead of giving us an abundance of everything right now, because I believe, sometimes too much of a good thing, is not, really, the best for something. But I get it. It's something that we love so much. We don't want to see that go away. I totally get that. But the thing is that when the sequel trilogy finished, right, or the prequel trilogy finished, right, we didn't get nothing for years. And then here comes, the Clone Wars was there, which was great. But then when we get when the sequels were announced, how hyped was everybody to see Star Wars back on the big screen again? Because it had such a long hiatus cinematically, to see it come back, that brings all of us together, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna be 45 this year. I don't want to wait another 20 years. I don't want to wait another 20 years.
I know, I get it, dude. I'm there with you. I'm there. I'm completely there with you, bro. But the thing is, make me miss it. Make me want it to come back.
But see, that's the thing.
But
I don't know about
your point. We don't want to let go. Just like
I don't know about you, but I already miss it because it's been 5 years since we've had a film.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I already 10 years without a film.
Be it 10 year without a film, but if you buy a franchise for $4.5 billion and you're sitting on the simple fact that you've only given us a fragment of a cinematic universe and you weren't successful, we need a redo. The only way for you to do it is to do it this way. So I'm not willing to wait to go away and come back. Then you're you're at that particular point, then fans aren't going to really, but there's no believability at that point. You're really
it's Star Wars. Yes, there is.
it's Star
Yes,
Wars,
there
but it's
is,
Star
dude.
Wars now, and people aren't really accepting anything, bro. That's my problem. They're not accepting it. There's only so much that they can do with this streaming universe, bro. There's only so much that you can do with streaming properties. The biggest problem that they're having right now, in my opinion, is that you can't, and they got to, and my biggest gripe is that for the Mandoverse and these shows, stop giving us these fucking half-hour episodes, man, because it's not really working to me. Because now you're seeing it. You're rushing to cram so much into one episode, and it feels rushed. The pacing is off. They need it. Like, look, when you give us Andor, when you give us basically a show like that, where every damn episode is an event, and I am
compare the
excited
Gilroy
about it.
writing team to the Favreau team. That's not
No, you can't. You cannot. But what I'm basically saying is, if you look at that, that's exciting because you're invested in these characters. What I'm basically saying right now is these half-hour episodes where you're cramming things, and it's visual. You can see it. It's evident that you're cramming in. They got to kind of like figure that out. They got to figure out how they do that. And the only way that I think that you can really tell a proper story is on the cinematic if you have it on film. Like right now, they need that. They need to have successful films.
Yeah,
And
people
for
are
us to
forgetting that we're
wait,
talking about shows on a streaming platform, and it's not network where you have sponsored episodes, so you can do 22 episodes of a season and get fully funded because you have tons of advertising revenue coming in for every episode. So it makes sense to do 20-some episodes to rake in all that cash, but you don't get any more money from having 30-minute episodes versus 45, or 10 episodes versus 12 or 16, 18. It's a subscription, so they don't have any incentive to give us these longer things. Whereas with cinema, with film, we'll get to have those longer fleshed out stories and let us have these 30, 45-minute episodes for television shows like that. But I agree, we're longing for, a film for that yang, man. We got to have both. I think it works, and I think it can be such a great symmetry if they have the cinematic universe going, meshing, or not even meshing, but having something for people, TV wise, having something for people in cinema, having stuff for people in video games. Like, just having TV is awesome, but there's so much more that they could be doing. And I don't want it rushed or just throwing something out there just to throw it out there. But there's a lot of smart people who know how to make movies and know how to write stories. And this is the one of, if not the biggest IP of all time. To tell me that in 5 years you can't come up with some idea
smart
for
people
a
don't
movie,
want to work for Lucasfilm,
it's
bro.
like, geez, man.
These smart people that you write of, these writers and directors, they don't want to work for Lucasfilm because of the fandom, bro. We see the toxicity in the fandom, as well, dude. I mean, it's not, we I think it's something that we got to admit, but it's just wrong what people are doing.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that's another contributing factor as well. That the fact that we're not getting these quality people on there is because of the fandom. So that's why I'm saying, take the time to regroup.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, the regroup. What they should have did, literally, and in all honesty, is because they were rushing to recoup that money that they basically spent from George Lucas. So it was like, no, we need to put out something now. We need to get that. We need to earn our money back. Instead of sitting back and saying, okay, all right, we have this. Let's sit here and let's try to make this thing work. Let's come up with an idea. Let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with ways to kind of not only make the money that we know we need, but to also make sure that we can keep fans coming back. You know what I mean? And I think they failed at that with the first time with the actual sequels. You know what I mean? They failed with it, even though there was interesting points in these films and it were character development from certain aspects. Certain characters were done well and that you liked, but still the films were, they made $1 billion each film did, but it was very divisive. You know what I mean? So it's like now when you're looking at it, yes, we can say that, they need to kind of sit back and regroup, but 5 years already, bro, they've been trying to regroup and come up with ideas, and we've lost directors and lost writers and stuff like that. I think they see that, they hear the fans, they know people are like, yo, right now you're fucking up. Like now is a time to say, look, we need to come up with a plan. And at least I think they're making an attempt to do so. So that's where I'm at with it. So that's all I'm saying. So hopefully, again, we'll see that going forward. Again, everybody, thank you. It's been an amazing show. I don't want to go too deep into it. I know it's getting late. We'll talk about this probably some other time, whatever. What's next? You said we got, what is it? The Visions.
Visions, yeah.
So Visions is basically next. And then of course we got Ahsoka in August. Which is not too far off, to be quite honest. It's definitely not too far off. So we'll definitely be back. Again, every so often, every other week, back to that routine right now till these series. We get another series and stuff like that. Mario, what you got going on, man?
Dude. Well, first of all, thanks. Thanks for hosting tonight, bro. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
LWO tomorrow night. So that's gonna be fun on P-Rock's channel. We're doing a post 420 episode, so we gotta celebrate on P-Rock's channel. You guys already know that, so that's gonna be hella fun.
Yeah,
and then Saturday, Dark Side, Tales from the Dark Side with Ant, and then we got our Tuesday shows coming up. Friday also too with Toy Quest 101. Miguel, we got our thing going on over there for Collectors Assemble. So right before LWO, so y'all come check us out over there, and yeah, man, good discussion tonight, y'all. It was really great.
Definitely dope discussion, man, as always. What do you got coming up? What you got going? What can we see on Positive Fandom?
Guys, I'm going to be playing Jedi Survivor coming up next week. It's going to be
yeah.
So I do live streams every day. So guys, do check out my channel if you want to see Jedi Survivor gameplay. And I am not the best gamer, so don't worry about it. It's going to be a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, a lot of dropped lightsabers. Don't worry. It's going to be all good. So I'm looking forward to that coming up. And that's pretty much it right now.
Yes, definitely. And getting better and resting, because you just got back, Monday? So I know that jet lag. It takes a few days to get over that jet lag. So yeah, I know how that be. So definitely looking forward to it. If you haven't, follow El Profesoro. Definitely make sure you do so. Subscribe, join, become members, hit the like button on every video that you basically see, and support the channel as always. Vinny, what you got coming up, man?
I am just gearing up. I have a big con in Philly coming up in June, so I'm working on some original art for that. I've been doing some different new projects and have all kinds of crazy stuff coming out soon. So if you're looking for any art prints or anything like that, check out Vincent Dunn Art on IG, and has a link to my store. Grab yourself some prints, and, and this is the way. Hopefully, I get a lot of fans of my work, and we'll see. Yeah, man. Otherwise, you could catch me on Comic Book Talk with Friends,
Yes.
We'll be catching you guys there, and then back here for whenever we jump back in to talk Star Wars, because there's always, Mando or not, something Star Wars to talk about and argue about. It's what we do.
Definitely, man. Hey, if you haven't already, Vincent Dunn Art on Instagram. Basically, the link to his store is there as well. So make sure that you get on in there and do that. What we got tomorrow night is Figure Flex Friday. So we'll be definitely on that show. So come with your best flexes, and we'll do the rest. Definitely, you already know. In Collectors Lounge International on Sunday. To everybody out there, the Eid is tomorrow. So definitely, if you made it through, peace to everybody out there as well. So I'll be getting up, heading down to the farm show at 9:00 tomorrow. It's been a rough ride, but we made it through. So yeah, definitely, man. If you haven't already, subscribe to the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. Hit that like button. It's always on this particular episode and everything else that we got going on. I forgot the Jedi Order is out next week. I cannot wait for that. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot coming up. But yes, as always, we love y'all. Until next week. Or he said, he got Attack of the Clones R2 arriving tomorrow. Oh, here we go. We got a video. Mario, we got a video coming up.
Hey,
speaking of which, I hope Toy is asleep right now. Yo, Ray hit me up. My both my clone troopers and the shinies are shipping tomorrow. Shit. I don't even want to tell you what the bill is for that, but damn, hope she sleep. Anyway, yeah, bro. Yeah,
I
bro.
just got my 2, dude. Shout out to Red Hawkwars, dude, for hooking us up.
Yeah, bro. It's gonna be crazy. So anyway, again, as always, love y'all. Until next time and week after next, whatever. Always stay uncivilized. We are out. Peace, 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 peace.
So uncivilized.